Oh, like, where are you really from? Oh my god, is that your real hair? Can I touch it? Oh my god, you look so much like Princess Jasmine. So what are you eating? What is that? Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to another video of my Let's Talk series. Today we are discussing racism within the workplace. It is a topic that you guys actually chose in my Instagram stories. Today's look is a neutral smoky eye as requested in my IG story as well. Don't forget, you can find all of my Let's Talk series, the full videos on my YouTube channel. If you have any experiences of racism within the workplace, then feel free to comment down below and let us know. Other than that, let's start talking and let's start glamming. Okay, now I'm looking crazy. We can start the conversation. How many times have one of you guys been scared that you won't get a job because of your skin color? How many times have you guys been too scared to be yourself at work because you're scared you'd be too ethnic for your colleagues? How many times have you guys heard racist remarks at work and you didn't want to say anything because you felt you didn't want to kick up a fuss because no one would take you seriously? I'm going to start off just by talking about racism at work between colleagues. Ready? Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. So I work at an all-white law firm and I'm the only ethnic Muslim at work. Also, bearing in mind my colleagues are very vocal about being a conservative supporter and love Boris. So I've heard a lot of remarks and passive-aggressive racist remarks and views. For instance, during the Christmas party where one of my colleagues who was stupidly drunk thought it was okay to say the word and that it's okay because she lives in East London and eats curry, that she had the right to say it. I expressed how upset I was about it and she eventually apologised the next day. But if she was okay to say this at a work event, how freely does she say these things outside of work? I just love this. I've heard about stuff like this quite a few times from different people from different ethnic backgrounds, and generally the situation is that they know that they work in like an all-white business environment or work environment, and it always is the case that when they go to like work drinks or Christmas party or work events, that's when the racism really comes out. This is one of the reasons why I don't really like going to work events. I feel like the lines can be blurred and people can overstep the boundaries. From what this person's kind of messaged me about their experiences at work, like I said, it's not something that is exclusive to that person. So many people go through it and quite obviously it's not okay. I don't think getting drunk and being drunk is an excuse for letting your racism come out, and certainly just because you live in East London and you like to eat our food does not mean that you can say that word. What's crazy to me is that the instance in this particular situation, I live in East London, I eat curry, I can say it. But what is so crazy to me is that I've had that said to me, but by classmates when I was younger. Those same instances where when I was a child that have been said to me are still being reflected in a work environment when you are an adult, which just goes to show when these students, when these children are making racist remarks thinking that they can say these things as they are children, nobody has reprimanded them, which makes them think that as they grow older, they are allowed to say the same things at work as an adult. I'm going to read another one of these that I got just to show you that this isn't a singular occurrence. This happens a lot to people of colour. If you aren't a person of colour and you are watching this, please do not be offended. I am aware that there are people within the work environment and just white people in general that are very, very open to learning about other cultures, very, very open-minded in general. If you're not racist, then this video shouldn't bother you. This is going to be really intense because I'm just going to read out quite a few. Being called the N-word at work, being asked to twerk on a colleague, being asked for a threesome. There's quite a few other things that I'm just not going to read out because I don't feel like it's appropriate, but it's insane that this is what some women are having to deal with. It goes on to explain that this happens also every time that they go to work drinks, and this gentleman has had one too many drinks, and just using really vulgar language. You are not British because you are black. You always make things about race. Oh, this one's a good one. Tried to mimic me and in doing so used every single slang word he could think of, even though I never use slang. Clearly done this because I'm black. I'm sorry, I'm reading this with you guys as I go along. Introduced me to his girlfriend and in doing so mentioned she shouldn't talk to me because I am black. He tried to excuse himself by saying it was a joke. Making stereotypical comments of how black people act. Selling drugs, stabbing each other, smoking weed and rapping. Someone else actually reached out to me and said that they were the only Asian on the floor. The rest of the staff were predominantly Caucasian. She was told that she was only hired so the floor had some colour because they had inspectors coming in. I'm just going to stop there because I think that's more than enough. I mean, it's really unfortunate that people have to go through these things, but what I will say is that don't allow yourself to be made feel uncomfortable at work, and if someone is doing something out of line, then they should be reported. Just very quickly, the best thing to do, make a list of every instance should there be more than one, date, time, who was there, and just as much information as you can, and just report it to HR. That's just a quick side note. That's what my mum always taught me, and it's always worked. What do you even say about these things? What do you even say? I really don't know. Of course, many of those circumstances are very, very blatant forms of racism. I'm sure most of you are aware that there are other ways of racism being executed at work in very, very discreet ways that sometimes you feel like you're not able to go and report it because it is done so discreetly. It has to be a really, really extreme form of racism at work for us to feel like, okay, that's a situation that I can report. Why does it have to go from 0 to 100? Why do we have to be subjected to the most extreme form of racism at work before something's done about it? The stereotypes for me are insane. Me myself, I've had people at work like, come out of your shell, you're so to yourself, why don't you mix with us? It's not that I don't want to mix with people, and it's not that I'm shy. If I'm like truly myself, like everyone else is comfortably able to do so at work, I'm gonna be like stereotyped. And when I did, people would call me ghetto because I would speak like slang, and not like heavy slang, like a few words here and there. Even if you have like a sassy attitude or stand up for yourself or you're outspoken, you know, you get put into these boxes. I know it like really, really sucks to have to go through these things at work. But guys, do not be afraid to stand your ground. In this day and age, I don't feel like it's something that we should have to put up with. And a lot of the times I feel like it can just be colleagues are very, very misinformed and they just need someone to kind of educate them. It would be ridiculous for me to sit here and tell you like, leave your job, they're racist, leave your job. That's not realistic. Like, we all have to earn some way, we all have to make a living. But say your piece. Say your piece in the most professional way that you can, and if you can't speak directly to them, then report their ass. Like, I'm sorry, you're not here to deal with that. What we do also have to remember is that hopefully if you work in like a remotely good environment, sometimes your Caucasian colleagues are more than willing to stand up for you. Depending on the line of business that you work in, it's not always racism from your colleagues that you will face. If you work in retail like me, you will find that you can also be racially discriminated against by customers. One of the ladies' responses basically said that, oh, it's really nice to be served by... Wait, let me get the message up. This honestly just reminded me of how many times white clients who I'd be serving would say, oh, it's nice to have, you know, an English person serving me for once, and I just generally have no clue what to even respond. I ask why once or twice. They then get defensive and say, no, I don't mean anything racist, I just mean it's nice as we're similar, whilst gesturing at my skin colour. That is from a white person. So before you guys start coming at me in the comments, that's from a white person, and even they're able to acknowledge the racism that goes on. Now, another thing to consider is that do management deal appropriately with racial complaints? Now, I've had an instance where I've kind of made a complaint because someone was being feisty to me. They were being feisty, but do you know what happened? They were actually, I don't know what the word was, I can't remember exactly, but they used a word in Italian that was kind of like, nobody would actually tell me what the exact translation was. When I told my other colleagues who were also Italian, they were like, she said what? And I was like, okay, damn, is this like, does this have racial undertones? I got the vibe that it did, and either way, even if it wasn't racial, I still would have complained because you're not about to curse me out in a whole other language when I can't understand you and I cannot retaliate. Anyway, I did, but was the situation dealt with properly? I would say no. I never had a follow-up. No one ever told me, you know, was she reprimanded? What was put into place? I never got an apology. Nothing of that sort. I don't want to assume, but I'm gonna assume because as a person of color, we've been in many, many instances where we know where what the play is, and I would say that if it was, I would say that it would have been dealt differently if, I'm just going to leave it as if, I'm just going to leave it at that. I do not feel like that was dealt with appropriately, and in many cases when we bring up racial discrimination at work, I feel like they deal with it at a surface level and then they kind of just leave it alone, because I feel like the people in these higher up positions, they don't know how to deal with these types of situations. If that's the case, then these businesses and corporations need to make sure that these managers and people in higher positions are being provided with the necessary training to deal with these situations, because that's why you're getting that pay. What about the forms of racism at work that are probably a bit more discreet? I'm gonna name a few for you. Oh my god, you're so pretty. Where are you from? Oh, I'm British. I was born here. No, like, where are you really from? London. I was born here. But like, where are you really from? I can't even do this. Oh my god, is that your real hair? Can I touch it? Some people don't even have the decency to ask. I've seen some of my black friends and colleagues and they will literally just go up and start touching their hair. Like, no, personal space. This is another one that I always get. Oh my god, you look so much like Princess Jasmine. First of all, I'll take it because I love Disney and Princess Jasmine, I'll take it. But why are you saying I look like the only brown Disney princess that there is? I don't even look like her. I don't think that I can look like a cartoon character. Those are just a couple of examples that come to mind like straight away, but if you have any more, share them down below. I want to hear what you guys are going through at work. Oh no, this is one more. Then I take food from home and I'd be eating in the canteen and they'd be like, so what are you eating? Like, what is that? So jarring. Just let me eat my food. I've even had people trying to go for my food and try my lunch. No, absolutely not. What about racism that's not directed at you but you kind of see around you in the work environment? I work in luxury retail, so things that I see are very different to the things that someone in high street retail might experience or see. When I first started working at my very first luxury retail job, I was pretty much the only brown girl that was on the floor. Other things that I noticed were the way that security would racially profile a lot of the customers coming in. When I say Asian, I'm talking about South Asian, because East Asia, there was another stereotype that they had money, so they were all dying to serve them. Anyone that was either black or Asian were very racially profiled. They would be like followed around a lot. Nobody wanted to serve them. It was just ridiculous. I think when I first started working in luxury retail, I was extremely depressed because I was finding it so difficult to adjust to this new environment, and it was frustrating me so much to see people being racially discriminated every day, and there was nothing that I could do. I needed to be there to make money. Like, I needed to be there to survive. I felt like stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it took me a long time to adjust. Now I know how to deal with it because I've been working in luxury retail for a good few years, but it was very difficult in the beginning. I would love to do a video on my experience working for a particular luxury brand because I didn't have such a great experience. Let me know, would you guys be interested in something like that? Oh, another thing, people getting your name wrong. People getting your name wrong or calling you the name of the other only brown person that works for the company. Now, you can argue with me all day long and be like, maybe there's just a lot of people to learn. Maybe there's just a lot of people's names to learn. Like, absolutely not. If I can learn everybody's name in my team, then you can take the extra time and effort to learn my name. You could also argue maybe just ethnic names are harder to remember. Absolutely not. To me, that is ignorance. Let's put my eyelashes on. Don't be intimidated by work and like entering a new workspace. Make sure you absolutely aim very high, even if the field that you want to go after is predominantly white. When I first started at said brand, I was the only brown girl on the shop floor. I think there might have been someone that was from an Asian background downstairs on another floor, but when I had left, my goodness, the diversity had changed so much. Kind of think that was because they got pulled up, but still, it's kind of evolving. I've also heard of instances where a person of color was promised a promotion or promised a specific job role after they've worked for a certain amount of time at a company. Those promises were never fulfilled, so they had to leave the company and essentially leave their job. This is like very common. I've had this on multiple occasions. Obviously, my videos are based on having a conversation, having a discussion about these topics. I'm not able to entirely provide like solutions for them. If you do have any solutions or any tips or advice to dealing with racism in the workplace, then feel free to comment down below. Another thing that I would always recommend, which my mom always told me to do but I barely ever did it, is join a union. Joining a union, just make sure you're protected, make sure that you've got someone on your side should anything go down, someone who's completely impartial, and it really doesn't cost a lot. Oh my god, I look crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off and do my base because I feel like I've rambled on as usual. My eyes are done. It's just a very neutral brown smoky eye. I've added a little fox liner as well. Lashes are on. I'm gonna finish with my base and I'm gonna come back. Okay guys, I am back. I've finished off my makeup. As usual, I've used my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, 2 Tarte Shape Tape Concealers in medium and light medium sand. I use my Laura Mercier translucent powder to bake, and then I've just filled it in under my eyes with a little bit of black eyeshadow. My lips are the Barry M lip liner in chocolate as usual, and then I have Estee Lauder Barely Nude lipstick on. It's number 46. My highlighter as well is Laura Mercier. The shade that my highlighter is in Indiscretion. As I always mention, these videos are not meant to attack any particular group of people. These videos are merely an opportunity to allow us as people of color to talk about situations and experiences that we have all faced but often are not talked about enough. It's either to bring awareness, share experiences, or just start a conversation that is very necessary. If you feel hurt or offended or attacked by my videos, there is a clearer issue that needs to be addressed. If you have any experiences that you feel relate to this video, then let me know down below. I love getting messages from you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram. My entire Let's Talk series is available on both IGTV and my YouTube channel. With that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!